Today's video is sponsored by our good friends at Famous Faces and Funnies, located in Melbourne, Florida. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as our friends at Docking Bay 94, located in Boca Raton, Florida. Check us out on comicsandgames.com. Welcome to a Corona-free episode of Codename New to Vero 2. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu Are You. First and foremost, I hope everybody and their family is safe. They're taking the right precautions. And just, you know what? We're all in this freaking boat together. I know California, the Northeast, the Pacific Northwest, you guys have it a lot worse than us down here in Florida. You know, Floridians are, we don't have that many cases. In Sebastian or in Boca Raton, we had 1 or 2, but Indian River County had like 2. But you know, they were able to suppress it. But you know, we're still in the. That's the messed up, fucked up part. Is like we don't know how long this crap is going to be, and we're still early in the ball game. So we still got 3 quarters to go. That's the sucky part. So I guess, you know, I'm going to try to do a little bit something different. I'm in front of the camera for the first time in a while, and I'm going to try to entertain you as much as I could. So I thought it'd be good to go through some comic recaps and showcase what I've been picking up and enjoying the past month. And again, if you're able to, a lot of comic shops, especially in our area, are doing like you order them and then they'll have it ready for you so you could pick it up and go. Or you could do online, reading comic books online. Anything to pass the time would be advantageous. So those are some suggestions. So let's dive into what comics I've been interested in. We're going to start off with Star Wars. And I did a recap of the Vader series. And you guys all know how I feel about modern Disney Star Wars. And it's kind of in line with Retroblasting has pointed out the flaws. So I was a little bit timid until shop owner John recommended the Vader series, and he's kind of like me. He's like, these things are terrible, but man, this comic is great, and it is great. So if you haven't, go check the recap of that out. Let me see if I have it here. I'm not going to be all professional and all that other shit. I'm just going to pull up stuff and showcase. And if you have a pen or pencil, write them down and, you know, go online and look at the online comics that you could read. So again, the first one is Vader. I hope that you could see it from the glare. This is Vader #1, the very first issue. And I'm lucky I actually got the first print of this. They're already on to their second printing. And this has been a hot seller. And just watch the recap. More to go in depth with that. It's a very good series so far, and I've said it in the recap. This is a lot better story than the Disney Star Wars movies, and it picks up right after Empire ends, when Vader is trying to. He's mad because how is Luke hidden from him, and who hid Luke from him? So he's pissed off that his son was taken and hidden from him all these years. So he's going to go on a quest to discover who are all the parties that were involved, and he's going to enact revenge onto all of them with the full hatred of the dark side. It is very good. The second Star Wars comic book, remember, I'm reluctant on all of these until the shop owner said, yo, you gotta read these. The second is The Rise of Kylo Ren. And this is issue #2 that I picked up. So basically, if you guys remember in the beginning of The Force Awakens, that old guy, you know, we didn't know what he was about. Who is this guy? So in this story, it showcases a little bit more of the backstory. We see him and Luke going on these quests to these abandoned Jedi temples and outposts where Luke basically has to learn about his predecessors in the Force and gain more knowledge. In this one particular journey, Ben Solo accompanies him. And we also hear the dialogue of Snoke, like kind of like coaxing. The only question is, if Kylo Ren is able, Ben Solo is able, how come Luke never picked up on these things? Is that more of the dark side? We don't know. But in one particular, he goes up against the Knights of Ren for the first time. So you see the full capabilities of the Knights of Ren and why they should be feared. And we see Luke Skywalker, like in this cover shot, taking on the entire Knights of Ren. And how he manhandles him is unbelievable. We see the full power of Luke Skywalker. Kind of like, in that terrible The Last Jedi. But this is Luke, feet on the ground, present, and just kicking ass. It's actually really good. And we see how the leader of the Knights of Ren is a dark Jedi, or he's not a Sith, but he's a dark Force user, and he has a lightsaber. So he senses Kylo Ren's future. He's like, boy, are you sure you're on the right side? Because I sense something in you. Again, did Luke sense this? Well, this is only issue number 2, so this is actually a hot selling book. I unfortunately got the second print, but you know what? I don't really give a shit. I just wanted to know about the story, and it's actually intriguing. So this is another recommendation. All right, the third pickup is a book called Star. I picked up issue number 1. This is issue number 2. Now the story behind this, let me get the names right. The girl's name is Ripley Ryan, and she's trying to steal Captain Marvel's power. So I guess she got too close in proximity, where she was able to absorb the reality stone. So the reality stone gets embedded into her body. Now she's not a goody-goody, but she's not totally evil. She uses her powers for her own personal benefit, like all of us would probably do if we had superpowers. Come on, let's be honest. So she tries to use, and she doesn't have conscious of how the reality stone takes effect, and she doesn't have control over the level of power it omits. So it's also like a beacon. So at the same time, like when she uses her powers, characters like Scarlet Witch, Jessica Jones are able to sense that the stone is being used. And also characters like Loki are also able to. So there's a big rush to get to this Ripley Ryan. So because they feel that they could pull her in one direction. She could go right, she could go left. She could be good, she could be bad. It just depends on who's going to influence her. So in this issue, Scarlet Witch actually gets a hold of her and is trying to tell her more. This is why you're acting weird, and you need to like chill out, because you're like holding up a dinner, a big red flag, like, come and get me. So you need to chill out. So this is actually pretty interesting. You guys know I pick up like random things just to sample them, and if I like them, I'll continue on. If I don't, they get knocked. All right, the third one is kind of complicated. It's a book called Machine Girl. Now, it's a little bit of, I guess, the movie Universal Soldier mixed with Back to the Future, in the sense that there's a doctor named Dr. Peabody, and he was working for a corporation called Axon. Now they have this technology where they're able to make human cyborgs, and what happened, they tricked Dr. Peabody into saying, oh, we're going to use this for medical purposes. But when he finds out that they're using it for military and evil purposes, he kind of like sabotages the program, and he ends putting it into this girl named Megan, who thinks that Dr. Peabody is her dad. So they live in this like, think about like a a planet filled with all different people from the universe, and she works as a MMA fighter to get money, and she kicks butt. So just imagine this young girl beating up these like Hulk-like characters, this itty-bitty cute little tiny jean shorts Daisy Duke girl. I mean, just destroying these like uber monsters. So it's all because of her enhancements. Now they live in this secluded planet, and this corporation is sending these hitmen after to collect their investment. So again, this is issue number 2. And what caught my eye is that it's by a publisher called Stonebot. I've never heard of them before. And you guys know how I like to sample these lower publishers that aren't DC and Marvel, because they fully capture that comic thing that we grew up with. They're not plagued with this, SJW, let's make politically correct. I mean, this girl is hot, that's what sells. She's not politically correct, and but the story is really well done. So I'm actually going to continue with this series. So give this a little sample, Machine Girl number 2. All right. The third one, I'm just going to talk about it really quick because I'm working on a video recap. This is a book called Mercy. It is, I think this is so damn good. It's probably going to be the next Walking Dead. Yeah, you heard me right. It is so well done. It is so freaking creepy, but in a good way, like Sleepy Hollow type of stuff. So stay tuned for the recap of this. It should be going up soon. But this is a win. Well written. The drawings are phenomenal. And it's just one of those thrillers that is, I'm surprised. Again, this is a comic shop owner recommendation pickup. All right. The third one is Black Cat number 10 with the Spider-Woman variant cover. Now, if you guys remember, I was following this series religiously when it first started with issue number 1. And I was going on, I think, until issue number 4. And then I just stopped and wanted to go into other stuff because I just like to drop it here, there, sample a little bit of this, and then move on to that. I'm happy to say that this is a very good series. Felicia Hardy is, sexy, smart, resourceful, and in this issue number 10, she actually teams up with Wolverine. So we see the resurfaced Wolverine, because remember, Wolverine died supposedly in Marvel lore with X-22 taking over as the mantle of Wolverine. Well, Wolverine has come back to the living again. And what's special about this is there is a partner that she has that's trying to two-time her while collecting all, because, she's a thief. So she talks about how being a thief is like being a magician, like the sleight of hand thing. And Wolverine is in it because there's something that this guy has that belongs to him. And what it turns out to be is just a box of belongings, nothing of monetary value, but they mean a lot to Wolverine because I guess he's trying to get his, hold on to his memories. I don't know the full Wolverine story, so I might be way off, but that's what's interesting is their partnership. And the drawing is good, the story is good, and I'm happy to see a new Marvel series being entertaining and true to the character while being sexy and smart at the same time and sophisticated. I think this is a very, very good. And try to look for those cover variants like this. Supposedly, if you are interested in collecting these are the ones that go up in value, whether you care or not. I don't care. I still have to do the comic recap for G.I. Joe, the non-Larry Hama, issue number 6. I am way behind on this, so stay tuned for that, guys. So there's 2 things that should be coming up that'll help you with your boredom. Now the next one is a 1977 issue number 4 of the Marvel Star Wars run, and I think this is around $20, but I got it for $5, and I didn't get it because of the big, price savings I got. I got it because, just the battle with Darth Vader to the death. And you guys have to remember, and a lot of us do, how this was our only gateway into the world of Star Wars besides the movies. And these things were like cockamamie, crazy ass stories that had nothing to do with Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi. It's just the writers just got their characters and they had to come up with some crazy ass shit that had nothing to do with Star Wars. So that's why these are so beloved, because how zany and wacky they are. And of course the cover is why I picked this one up. So this is a retro comic pickup and something that I'm going to treasure, even though new modern day Star Wars suck. All right, The Vengeance of Vampirella. It's a side story, and this is where actually a doomsday situation where this girl is like the equivalent, if not better, than this demigod, and basically Vampirella gets killed, but she gets brought back to life, and the only way to it's like this lady's like the coronavirus. She's like destroying all mankind and everything, and the only way she could be defeated is Vampirella, because you need evil to defeat evil. This is a very well, I like this better than the main title of Vampirella. So if you're interested in exploring, start off with The Vengeance of Vampirella. The story is really good. I mean, the regular series is okay, but the last 2 episodes I haven't been excited about Vampirella. So this is definitely a must. Since we're on Vampirella, the latest issue is number 8. And this is Vampirella's lover, who I guess somehow becomes a vampire herself. And it focuses on her journey, how, they had they were a same-sex couple, and she somehow got infected with the vampire, and now she's somewhat of a demigod herself. So this one's kind of a C, but I'm continuing with the series because Elvira is done. And the next one is Doom. Now, I've said it before, besides Darth Vader, Doom is my second favorite bad person. Essentially, he doesn't see himself as a bad guy like a lot of infamous evil men tend to do, but something happens on, I'm on issue number 6, but there's a big thing where there's a black hole that's going to take all the pollution and all the stuff, and they're just going to toss it into the black hole, but it gets blown up and the whole space station gets blown up, and the people that are responsible have Doom's country's insignia. So he's being set up for this atrocity because he's all in favor for it. So they, of course, the Fantastic Four and the whole UN issue an order to arrest Dr. Doom. He willingly gives himself up and taken into custody, but then he escapes, and he's trying to figure out who is setting him up, and B, how he could fix this himself. So he sees like his future, and it's like he's going through all levels of doomism himself in order to fix what's going on in the present. This is one of those titles. Don't sleep on this one, guys. This is very entertaining. Even if you're not a huge Doom fan like me, I just love this series, and I've been following it religiously. Highly recommended. The next pickup is Spider-Woman number 1, and this is the Campbell variant cover, and it's just, she's fully clothed, but she is so damn sexy. Out of all of the female characters, I love me Spider-Woman. She's just, Jessica Drew is the shit. So in this issue, she's been kind of like on the low for a while, I guess, in Marvel lore. And she takes a job as she has a child, and I think she's married or has a boy or a baby daddy. But she has to take up a job, and she takes up a job protecting this rich girl, and kidnappers come to take her away, and she jumps in to prevent the kidnappers. And a lot of shit happens, and at the end, there's another story of her backstory of what brought her to this, kind of, being a working mom. So again, very well done, and I am looking forward to issue number 2. If you haven't, Spider-Woman number 1 is definitely a must pick up. So check that out. All right, we're gonna end with this video with a goodbye. A goodbye to the Elvira series, the probably biggest surprise in my return to comics. And it was supposed to be a short series. I spoke with writer David Avallone, who's become a good friend of the channel, and he told me that, they will make more issues down the road. It's just not presently. It's not going to be a continuation. It was just a batch of stories, or one story in 12 issues with the Shape of Elvira, the second book, simultaneously going on. That book went to just 6 issues. This one went to 12. So I was, as you guys seen in Facebook and Instagram, I've been collecting the photo variants for each issue. And this is what comics is all about. If there's any series that will make you remember the 80s and 90s, this will do it. It's fun. It's true to the character. Great story. And besides G.I. Joe, I regularly collected this, and it was such a delight. I'm getting it autographed too, and I was able to get the Virgin photo variant, because you see they're all usually come like this. So this one is a special Virgin cover variant, and of course I like this because you get to see those wonderful legs of Elvira. So I am a red-blooded American male, and I think this is beautiful. It's just classy. It's just fantastic. So to have writer David Avallone's signature on this, and hopefully Elvira down the road, it's going to be really damn cool. But they're going to come out with the trade paperback. So basically all 12 issues. I highly recommend you guys get it, and you'll smile at the end. It's one of those books that doesn't take itself seriously, and you shouldn't either. But man, it is a fun ride, so I highly recommend that. All right, well, that's going to be the end of this little special. Oh, one more thing. I should talk about some retro. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. You guys know that I've been into kind of encouraging you guys to collect cassettes and having physical media again. Well, let me bring this out. So some people have sent me some cassettes, which is awesome, but I've been finding a lot on my own. So we have Black Sabbath's Mob Rules on cassette, Ozzy's Ultimate Sin. I mean, these are great classic rock albums. Of course, MC Hammer, You Can't Touch This. That's pretty cool. But the thing is, we did the opening of the Walkman. Remember this? First time it's been open since 1997. So that's my one Walkman. And then we have the Sport Walkman. And I was going to, the purpose is I was going to talked about cassettes. Now the next medium I'm going to talk about is mini disc. And a lot of people are like, whoa, but mini disc, and I swear by this, it's probably the best music format that exists today. Not CDs, not cassettes. The mini disc, and I'm talking about from the studio recording music to consuming, walking around, enjoying personal music. So I was able, I have a Sony Discman that I've had since the early 2000s, late 90s, but unfortunately it stopped working. And that was heartbreaking because like this Sony Sports Walkman, I've had it, I've kept all my stuff in pristine condition. For that to suddenly stop working was heartbreaking. But I was able to find a Sony Sport mini disc player. So look for that episode. This is going to be a fun one, and it's fun to start these. But buying like a mini disc this is expensive. Mini discs pre-recorded are really expensive. So it's kind of encouraging people to make your own mini discs. So that's what's interesting. But I can't wait to showcase the mini discs. It's going to be a fun episode. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. I hope everyone's being safe, and stay tuned for more fun on Codename New to Bureau 2. Take care. Bye-bye.